What's going on, beautiful and exotic women of the world? Welcome back to another video. I'm going to get right to it today. In this video, I'm going to just touch on some topics regarding male-centered women and how they're a danger to exoticals and beautiful women. And to put it plainly, male-centered women are narcissists. They usually are only thinking about one thing, and it is getting validation and feeling wanted by men. Most of the time, if you are an exotical and you're operating in your feminine energy, having a friend like this will not only deplete your energy, she will also eventually and inevitably make you a target, and the relationship will eventually go to hell. One of the very sinister things a male-centered woman will do is sleep with your exes or deal with men that you've dated in the past. When you're dealing with a male-centered friend, she will always be looking for opportunities to get next to the men that you've had access to. One of the main reasons she does this is because she is highly insecure, and she most likely knows that you are a feminine woman and doesn't have to do half or even a quarter of the things that she has to do to get men's attention, to get men to spend money on her, to be treated well by men. So the only way that she can feel adequate and equal to you is by going after the men that you've been with, because it'll make her feel like she can compete. It'll make her feel like she's just as good as you because she was able to sleep with a guy who you dated or a guy who you were in a relationship with. And what these women don't realize is it's easy for a man to sleep with you. It's not easy to get a man to commit to you, to date you long term, to invest in you. So them thinking that they can hold a candlelight to you by getting in the bed with a guy that you've been with does not mean anything. But in their sick, twisted, narcissistic minds, it means that they were able to have something that you had, which means that they have a chance at being just as good as you, if not better. I had a friend who I loved very dearly, who I noticed was male-centered, when I realized that she would cycle through men every week. Every week there was a new guy who she was talking to or sleeping with, and she would call me crying and really upset. And every time she would tell me like, oh, I met up with him and we did it and now he's acting funny or he's being different. And I would always give her advice and say, how long did you know him prior? What was said, what was done during your interactions? I would always advise her to not sleep with him so soon. I would also advise her that if you start to see red flags, so if he's not answering your calls or texts, if he's being funny with you, you need to leave him alone. Love yourself, value yourself, think highly of yourself, and remove yourself from the situation. And, it almost felt like everything I was saying to her was going in one ear and out the other, and she was almost just using me to trauma dump instead of taking my advice. She just wanted somebody to bitch and moan to, but she wasn't actually doing anything about her situation. So when I realized that she was cycling through men like every week, every 2 weeks, I realized like, oh, you are seeking validation and you're seeking to fill a void through these people that you're going after, and you're also very much pursuing them more than they're pursuing you, and that's why you keep having the same outcomes. But it's sad to say, and I spoke about this in some of my other videos, this is the same friend who I found out ended up talking to my ex, and it was just very hurtful. But this is what these types of women do. They are constantly in a state of desperation and looking for a void to be filled by a man, even if it's a man that you had first. Then you have male-centered women who only want to go out if it means that they get to be around men. Like if they know that there's going to be guys there, they're super excited and they want to go. Or every time this girl calls you, every time you guys go out and do something, it's because she wants to make her baby daddy jealous, or she wants to make her... A lot of times these women don't have morals and they don't move within the girl code. Girl code doesn't exist, because girl code would mean that they would have to think twice before dealing with your ex, dealing with a guy you used to date. They would have to think twice before they ditch you for somebody at a club and leave you alone, which is a dangerous thing to do. It's just all around dangerous. And when you are friends with somebody who doesn't have a moral compass and they're willing to do whatever, whenever, if a man even just blows on them, that's somebody that doesn't have a backbone. They don't have integrity. They don't have a stable leg to stand on. And they will lead you into really dangerous situations, whether you realize it in the moment or not. In these women's minds, friends are disposable, but that man isn't. Let's say, for example, you have a friend who is funny with you, so she's jealous and envious of you. She treats you like you are disposable. She doesn't value the friendship. You initiate conversations with her. You want a genuine relationship and connection with her, but you can tell it's very transactional and one-sided. But when it comes to that man, she is locked in. He gets everything he needs and wants from her. She's giving 1,000% of herself to this person, even if they are abusive, narcissistic, sociopathic, they mistreat her, they lie to her, they cheat on her. She doesn't care, because all that matters is that she's getting validation and attention from this man who she has made her God. And when you are friends with a woman like this, it doesn't matter what you say or do. It doesn't matter how loving, how caring, how nurturing you are to her as a friend. She will always choose that man's love over yours, even if the man's love isn't really love for real. Also, with the really nasty, malignant, narcissist type of women who are boy crazy, they tend to try to embarrass you in front of men. And this is just a tactic to devalue you. That's all it is. I had a friend in high school who loved to do this. She loved to call me out and in front of a group of girls and guys, but specifically when there was a guy around, I noticed that she would go harder when there were guys around. This was just a tactic to make me look less than, make me look bad, so that she can make herself look better. She was one of the women who was kind of silently boy crazy, because she would go behind my back and follow the guys that I was interested in or talking to, when I would never do that to her. I was never interested in the guys she was interested in. And that's what these women will do, because they battle with insecurities, and if they feel like you're not trying too hard, you don't need to do the most to get men's attention, they want to take you down a notch because it frustrates them. And again, 9 times out of 10, these women are usually in their masculine energy, and they take on the role of chasing and pursuing the men that they're interested in. So when you are this beautiful, exotical girl, you're feminine, your energy is beautiful, and you don't need to do the most to get attention or to be liked. And it also makes it worse too if you don't use your body as your main selling point and your main focal point. When it comes to getting men's attention, you don't lead with that. That is going to irritate the hell out of a lot of women, a lot of male-centered women. It's going to bother them that all you need is your smile and your personality and your pretty face, and you're good like gold. That is going to irritate them, because in their minds and in their worlds, they have to lead with their body, they have to lead with sex, they have to pursue and chase and do the most and self-sabotage and self-deprecate to get the prize, quote unquote, which is the man in their minds. While feminine women see themselves as the prize, and they're just operating in the world, and whoever comes into their life is an addition to their life. They're already fulfilled, and someone who comes into their life is a simple addition to their life, not someone who is filling a space or a void. So ladies, drop down in the comments. I just know for a fact you guys have friends or family members who are male-centered, boy crazy, and male-identified, and they have done things to throw you under the bus or someone you know under the bus to get a man. We've all gone through this, and I'd love to hear your experiences down below. Also, please send me any experiences you may have had to my email. It'll be in the description box below. Have a lovely day, ladies.